Chelsea are in the Champions League. We are now fraternising among Europe's elite. Enzo Maresca did his job. He proved a lot of people wrong. He proved me wrong. Everything is now different. Standards need to be raised. There is now no more room for average players. This summer, we must build a squad perfectly. We must build a squad that is capable of launching a serious and sustained bid to win major honours. And we need to look at this squad and ask ourselves a genuine question. Is the individual player capable of competing amongst Europe's elite? If the answer is yes, brilliant. They stay a Chelsea player. If the answer is no, they are transfer listed and we look to elevate that position. What we will do in this video is we will go through every single Chelsea player and we will meticulously analyse, are they good enough to play for Chelsea in the Champions League era, or should we be looking to offload them? Let's get into it. Typically, we're going to start with a problem position for Chelsea. We are going to analyse every goalkeeper that we have on the books. We will start with Robert Sanchez. What I think we need to establish first of all is that Robert Sanchez did his job come the end of the season. When we desperately needed him to perform, he elevated his performances and he never let us down. He got it right as we were grinding out those 1-0 wins, crucial 1-0 wins at home to Everton, away to Nottingham Forest. Let's tell the truth about this. Robert Sanchez was perfect. However, what we cannot do is allow a couple of performances towards the end of the season to mask the goalkeeping ineptitude. So the way that I'm trying to do this video is to try and think, should we keep or should we sell Robert Sanchez? And the question that I'm struggling with is Robert Sanchez a good enough goalkeeper to be a second choice goalkeeper? There's absolutely no way that we can go into the new season with Robert Sanchez as our number one. That would be insanity. But the question that I'm struggling with is, can Robert Sanchez stay as number two? No. We will sell, and we should sell, Robert Sanchez. Philip Jorgensen should go on loan. Petrovic, I believe, is the best goalkeeper currently on Chelsea's books. Again, he could stay and be Chelsea's number two. In fact, yes, he should stay and be Chelsea's number two. So Sanchez to be sold, Jorgensen to go on loan, Petrovic to be Chelsea's number two. But the terrifying thing is, our entire success, everything that we're going to discuss in the video, all of our hopes and dreams, our future aspirations are all directly linked to us making a top-tier signing, a statement signing in the goalkeeping position. Without signing a new goalkeeper, we are cream-crackered before we've even begun. Right, on to defenders. The only place to start is with captain Reece James. We are such a better side with Reece James in the team. If Reece James is playing for Chelsea, Chelsea are more likely to win the game. We are more solid, we are more creative, we are more likely to score goals, we are less likely to concede them. He is a sensational player, that's never been in doubt. The issue with Reece James is fitness, but we saw towards the end of the season quite how devastatingly brilliant he can be. There isn't a conversation to be had here. We obviously keep Reece James. Marc Cucurella, the top scoring fullback of the Premier League. He's improved so much. He's become the personality of the team. He really had a brilliant season for us, and he has now adopted the sort of de facto role of captain in the absence of Reece James. He's experienced, he's tenacious, he's up for the fight. He is a leader, and he's also one of the most talented players at the squad. I was very unsure about Marc Cucurella, but he has become such a big game player for us. So we obviously keep Cucurella. Levi Colwill. Again, we obviously keep Colwill. You look at the way that he played towards the end of the season. You look at the personality. You look at the big goal that he scored. He seems to have a lot of that natural leadership about him. Now, of course, I've had my reservations about the ability of Levi Colwill, but the way that he played towards the end of the season was inspiring. I think we keep Colwill. I'm sorry to interrupt this squad appraisal. I really do hope you're enjoying it. But just before we go any further, could you do me a massive favour? Just click that subscriber button, please. Really helps me out. Thank you so much. Trevor Chalobah. Now, this is difficult. I love Trevor Chalobah. I like what he represents. I love that he is Chelsea. And I think it was a travesty that he was ever sent out on loan to Crystal Palace. But what we need in this window, if we are to be a serious opposition, a serious contender for top-tier silverware, is experience. We need to sign our version of the modern-day Thiago Silva. We need to sign our version of a modern-day John Terry. This defence can be excellent, but it needs some nous, it needs some leadership, it needs some know-how amongst it. And what we can't do is embark on a new season with Chalobah and Colwill. Both can be excellent players, but they are both too young and they actually exhibit similar flaws. Therefore, we need to compensate. So we need to bring in somebody who is experienced, somebody who Levi Colwill can learn from, somebody who Trevor Chalobah can learn from. And then what you have is you have a race. You have an opportunity for Chalobah and Colwill to push each other on, to compete for a place in the team, to inspire one another to be better and better, playing alongside an elite level centre-half. And it really is so important. I just desperately hope that Clearlake amend their current strategy and philosophy, because we saw in the Champions League final what that experience can bring. Everybody's focusing on Paris Saint-Germain, the youthful exuberance of that team, Desiree Doué, Ousmane Dembélé, and it was a glorious, glorious sight. But the reason that they were so good is partly because of the brilliance of Marquinhos, partly because of the brilliance of Donnarumma. That experience, that nous, that understanding, that know-how is worth its weight in gold. So I think that we can have a brilliant back line, but we need to sign a quality centre-half. And if we do, will game time be limited for Chalobah? Or do we keep him around the camp, hope that he can elevate his performances, hope that he can be inspired to compete with Colwill? Because at the moment, I think Colwill is ahead. That's what we do. We keep Colwill, we keep Chalobah, and we bring in another centre-half. Malo Gusto. Gusto we get rid of. He had a good first season, but he's just not Chelsea level. This isn't me saying that he's not a good player. This is me saying that he's not a Chelsea player. Could Malo Gusto do a good job in the Premier League for somebody else? Possibly. Probably. Maybe. One day. But he isn't Chelsea standard, and he certainly isn't Chelsea standard if we are competing for the Champions League. I think that we say thank you very much to Malo Gusto and we try and sell him, because there are just too many flaws in his game. He gets caught out of possession, he's not good enough on the ball, and anybody that ever compared Malo Gusto to Reece James should hang their head in shame. They don't play the same sport. Wesley Fofana. Now, it's not Fofana's fault, but he just cannot keep fit. I just don't think that we can rely on him. I don't think we'll find a buyer for him. But equally, I don't think that we can count on him at all. If there was a world where we could sell him, this isn't a reflection on his qualities as a player. When he's played, he's looked all right, mostly. But he can't keep fit. We can't rely on him. What is the point in having, apparently, our best centre-half constantly injured? The problem is, we put Fofana on an incredibly long contract and we've put him on 200 grand a week. So the chances of us flipping him, basically impossible. I think we're lumbered. I think we are lumbered with Wesley Fofana, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. If he can keep fit, he'll get back in the team. The problem is, if he doesn't keep fit, he's taking a huge chunk of our wages, and basically, he misses the entire season. If we could sell him, I would sell him. My worry is that we are lumbered. Toss in Adebayo. Now, I like him. I do like him. I rate him. But I don't rate him for this Chelsea team. He was a free transfer, and he's done okay. But, I mean, what are we doing? I like Adebayo, I wish him well, I think he'll have a good Premier League career. But he's not a top-tier European footballer. So Adebayo, I wish him well, I like him, but we have to sell him. On to now, possibly the jewel in the crown of the worst transfer that Chelsea Football Club have made under this new era. Possibly one of the worst transfers that Chelsea have made in a Premier League era. Benoit Badiashile. I mean, mate, what are we talking about? Benoit Badiashile is not a Chelsea player. Benoit Badiashile was not a Chelsea player prior to the 97 Cup win that changed the trajectory of the club. Erland Johnson was a better player. Genuinely, Erland Johnson was a better player than Benoit Badiashile. Jakob Jelberg was a better player than Benoit Badiashile. David Lee was a better player than Benoit Badiashile. Ken Moncau was a better player than Benoit Badiashile. Ian Pearce was a better player than Benoit Badiashile. Frank Sinclair was a better player than Benoit Badiashile. Not only is Benoit Badiashile not good enough to play for Chelsea, he's not good enough to play Premier League football. It's over. No. Sold. And then we're on to Axel Disasi. And basically everything that I said for Benoit Badiashile can be copied and pasted and put into the Axel Disasi category. Ken Moncau, better centre-half than Axel Disasi. Erland Johnson, better centre-half than Axel Disasi. For the avoidance of any doubt, Benoit Badiashile, sold. Axel Disasi, sold. And if you are lucky, you will get a tenner for each of them. On to the midfield. Now, this is Chelsea's crown and glory. This is where we are at our strongest. I think there is an Achilles heel problem in the goalkeeping position. There are some obvious reinforcements needed in the back line, and centre-forward issues are there. Whilst they are being looked upon, they are still there. And it's clear that we need improvement. The midfield, however, strong. We'll start with the obvious, shall we? We'll just do this. We'll start with Moises Caicedo. I don't feel like I need to say too much here, but the answer is obviously keep. I cannot wait to see Moises Caicedo competing in the Champions League. I cannot wait to see Caicedo competing and trying to outfox Europe's premier, top-tier, elite European midfielders, because I think that it will inspire him. I think it will invigorate him. I think it will make him even better. He will rise to the occasion and he will become a dominant world-class central midfielder. For the avoidance of any doubt, keep Moises Caicedo. Romeo Lavia I love. I think he's actually in Chelsea's best team. I think we play our best football when Lavia's there. I think the balance between Lavia and Caicedo is phenomenal. The problem is he can't keep fit, but he deserves to stay. Of course he does. He's a top-class player. He really is. I love him in central midfield. He finds it all so easy. Perfect pass every single time. So we keep Lavia, we wrap him in cotton wool, we look after him, and we desperately pray that he can find full fitness. Because if he does, it changes the complexion of Chelsea altogether. All of a sudden, we are a serious, serious outfit. The back line are better when Romeo Lavia is in the team. The midfield is better when Romeo Lavia is in the team. The forward line is better when Romeo Lavia is in the team. Top class player. We just need to see more of him. Keep Enzo Fernandez. Now, he has morphed into a leader of this team. He's morphed into one of the most important players in this squad. I wasn't at all impressed after his first season. I was desperately unimpressed with his conduct during the summer of last year, and some of his performances for Chelsea were chronically bad. However, he had a very good season. He deserves credit for having a very good season. He was one of our most important players by the end, and he was actually one of our best players by the end. Scored some vital goals, showed so much personality, and was there when we most desperately needed him. That goal away at Tottenham, I will forever remember that moment. Enzo Fernandez, we keep, and we desperately hope that Real Madrid do not come knocking. Akin and Dewsbury Hall, obviously we sell if we can. He's a championship player. I think he did well for us. He contributed. He did his bit. But it was a ludicrous signing at the time that made no sense to me at the time. And yes, he's a good player. Is he a Chelsea player? Not on your Nelly. Similar to Moises Caicedo here, I don't have too much to say. We're going to now discuss, should Chelsea keep Cole Palmer? Do we do it? Do we actually talk about it? Do I answer? Okay, let's do it very quickly. 30 seconds. Why should Chelsea keep Cole Palmer? Cole Palmer is one of the most natural footballers in the Premier League. He is one of the most naturally gifted footballers that I have ever seen. He reminds me of Gianfranco Zola. I feel the same way about him as I did about Eden Hazard or Arjen Robben. When Arjen Robben used to pick up the ball, everybody at Stamford Bridge went to the edge of their seat in expectation of something life-changing. And that is what we often got. It's similar with Cole Palmer. He has the ability to play a pass that most mere mortal footballers cannot even see. He's the perfect player. He's the best player at the club by a country mile. He's one of the best players in the country by a country mile. He is undoubtedly on the pathway to being one of the best footballers in the world. He's a class act. He's a wonderful man. He's a king in the making, and I love him. Do I need to say it? For the record, I guess we keep Cole Palmer. Pedro Neto. Now, he's one of our best players towards the end of the season. He seemed to really matter. And actually, if you look back on where it all changed for Chelsea, if you look back on the moment where Chelsea actually managed to launch a bid to qualify for the Champions League, when it was looking incredibly unlikely, it all changed at Craven Cottage, all thanks to Pedro Neto's goal. He ran himself into the ground for the team. He loves Chelsea, and he is a very good player. I think he deserves to stay at the club. I think that we need better players than him, to be frank, but he deserves to be in and around the squad. He's an excellent squad player, an excellent option for the manager. And if Chelsea's season goes as we hope it will next season, we'll play in excess of, 60 games? There'll be plenty of game time for Pedro Neto. He's earned it. Keep Pedro Neto. Noni Madueke. I don't really get it. I don't think he's good enough, really. I think he's been okay, but leaves me a little bit underwhelmed. He's a good player. But is Noni Madueke really the kind of player that's going to win you a Champions League? Is Noni Madueke the kind of player that's ever going to win a Champions League in his career? I think that Noni Madueke will go on to have a brilliant Premier League career. I think he's an excellent Premier League player that could do a job at a lot of Premier League clubs. In fact, at a lot of Premier League clubs, he would be their most dangerous player. He would be one of the best players at most Premier League clubs. But is he good enough to do it for one of the top tier, one of the elite, one of the teams dreaming of competing for the Champions League and the Premier League title? I'm not sure. He's also a very valuable asset. So I think, with a heavy heart, we have so many wingers, and it looks like we're going to sign a few more. I think we sell Noni Madueke. Tyreek George. Now, I'm finding this one really difficult. Not for the reasons that you think. I'm finding this one really difficult because I don't know whether to say keep at Chelsea, keep in amongst the first team, or loan him out. Like, the potential is there. Is he ready? Would it be beneficial for Chelsea, the furtherance of Chelsea in the few years to come, to have let him have a season on loan somewhere? Or should he be at Chelsea, training with the first team, learning from Liam Delap, linking up with Cole Palmer? What is better for the development of Tyreek George? I genuinely don't know the answers. It's very rare that this happens, but I'm kind of stumped. I'm stumped between keep at Chelsea this season or loan out. What do you think's better? I really don't know. I'm gonna put it to you. You decide. Should Tyreek George remain a Chelsea player or should he go out on loan? Nicholas Jackson. Nicholas Jackson isn't Chelsea quality. He's done okay for us. He has been a good option. He's been a good stopgap. He could easily leave now and be looked back on fondly, almost as a cult hero. But let's be totally frank. He is nowhere near good enough to lead the line for Chelsea. And if you believe that he is, I mean, I just don't understand how we have normalised mediocrity to a level where Nicholas Jackson can be the main man for Chelsea Football Club. I just don't get it. You know, he did his best to ruin it for us. Foolishly getting himself sent off at Newcastle United, costing the team massively, potentially. And I just don't think he is that guy. Far too profligate in front of goal. Of course, he has an all right eye for the back of the net. Of course, he can contribute to teams. And if he was maybe Chelsea's fourth choice striker, maybe there'd be a role for him at Stamford Bridge. But as our main man, no. Of course, Nicholas Jackson isn't good enough to play for Chelsea. Wasteful as they come. What we need to do is sign a proven goal scorer. Somebody like Victor Osimhen. You've then got Victor Osimhen, the main man, the guaranteed goal scorer bagsman, leading the line for Chelsea. I know his wages are through the roof, but let's just pay him. You get Victor Osimhen in the team, you build a team around Osimhen, you get Osimhen linking up with Palmer. Imagine that ruthless front line. And then you have Liam Delap learning from Osimhen. Liam Delap is the heir to the throne. If Nicholas Jackson was happy to be the third striker of the team, then maybe he could stay. But realistically, I think we need an elevation up front. And I think that bringing Delap in is sensible. We now need to make that statement, marquee signing of Osimhen or someone comparable. And frankly, I don't think there's room in the team for Nicholas Jackson. Sell Nicholas Jackson. I mean, Mark Yu, he's not a Chelsea player yet. Clearly not good enough to play for Chelsea now. Maybe tomorrow he will be, so I guess we loan him out. Mykhailo Mudryk is not good enough to play for Chelsea. Mykhailo Mudryk is clearly not good enough to play for Chelsea. Mykhailo Mudryk will go down as one of the worst players that was ever signed by Chelsea Football Club. I imagine he'll go on loan. I imagine that's what will happen with Mykhailo Mudryk. But if we could sell him, I would certainly say, let's get rid. It's actually been a disaster, hasn't it? From start to finish. You think about the form that he displayed, you think about the money, the fanfare on his arrival, off the back of us flying to Poland to nick him off Arsenal, the pitiful performances that he put in, and a drugs ban. So Mudryk out. Joao Felix out. I just don't get it. I don't know what Paul Winstanley was thinking here. I don't understand why on earth we went back in for Joao Felix, only for him not to really feature. It made no sense. It was a ridiculous signing. It didn't work the first time. It didn't work the second time. It won't work the 10th time. Get rid of Joao Felix. I never want to see him at Stamford Bridge again. In a home shirt. Come back and play for someone else if he wants. Don't really care. But not in a home shirt. And Christopher Nkunku. Dreadful. Disastrous. So many of these Clear Lake signings just haven't worked. I think it's clear for all to see that Christopher Nkunku did not want to be a Chelsea player. He didn't want to play for Enzo Maresca. He did not get a buzz out of wearing the famous blue shirt. Look, I know he's had injuries. I know he's been played out of position. But Christopher Nkunku has been a terrible, terrible signing. Lack of professionalism, lack of heart, lack of desire, lack of tenacity, lack of anything. I don't know how much money we could get for him. But whatever we could get, I think we should sell him immediately. So there we have it. They are my thoughts on the entirety of Chelsea's squad. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Really interested to hear what you have to say. And I think if we get this transfer window right, this could be the most important transfer window of Chelsea's recent history. We simply have to get this one right. It's so exciting, and I am just praying that we do the right thing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, please do me the honour of clicking subscribe, and I look forward to seeing what you have to say in the comments below. See you in a bit.